How's it going, everybody? I'm Drifty from Driftwood Gaming, and welcome to episode 0 of the Magitek Defectors playthrough. In this video, I'm going to briefly show you all of the mods and the mod settings that I use for this playthrough. I'm using version 1.3 of the game with the Royalty and Ideology DLC. I made a Steam Workshop collection to make this easier on you, called the Magitek Defectors. I'll put a link to it in the description below. We have a few libraries that other plugins depend on, like Harmony. Harmony has to go before Core, Royalty, and Ideology, according to some of the help files. I've got the Short Range Transport Shuttle Expanded mod in here. It looks super cool. Another library mod, Hugs Library. Damage Indicators. This just shows numbers when you damage something. Map Reroll. This is going to help us find a good starting map. Dubs Paint Shop. Purely cosmetic stuff, just so that I can make things look better. Beer is Alright. This is a simple mod that makes it so you don't get cirrhosis of the liver after drinking 2 beers, like sometimes you do in Rimworld. Balanced Eclipse and Solar Flare mod. This is just going to make eclipses and solar flares a little more rare, as they shouldn't happen constantly like they seem to do. Dubs Mint Minimap. This is a really useful utility to keep track of things at a glance. Dubs makes some pretty cool mods, and we're also going to be using Dubs Mint menus. Purely cosmetic mods. Auto Cut Blight. This is a simple mod that just automatically assigns the cut onto crops that have been blighted. Saves you a little bit of time of clicking each one of your crops to see what has gone blighted. Jex Tools, another library mod. This is the main one that we're going to be focusing on, Rimworld of Magic. I'm glad they brought this up to 1.3. It adds 28 classes and different playstyles, and we're going to be making each character that we control and we start with have one of these different classes. Bionic Icons, another cosmetic. It just gives some of the parts their own icons. Camera Plus, this is great for zooming really close in for recording purposes, and I think it's going to be a good one to have for any YouTuber to do a series on. Injured Carry is really good for the colonists that you have that are super old and they have a bad back and they're missing a leg and they're not downed but they need help. There are situations that come up where you're running, and I think this is just a nice utility to have. Apparel Tainted only when corpse rot. This one is kind of a game changer. It does affect the balance of the game to make it a little bit easier. We're going to be putting it on Randy 500%, and there's going to be plenty of challenge in the game. Tilled Soil is a simple mod. It just basically lets you create tilled soil so that you can turn ground into highly fertile ground. Snap Out. This is a really good one to combat all of the mental breaks that your colonists will have, and they'll freak out and start slaughtering all your animals. Well, you have a chance to help them snap out of it. Minify Everything. It's a really cool utility if you want to reorganize your base. It helps you not have to deconstruct everything and reconstruct it. It just, like, if you want to move the table over, you can with this. Wall Light, nice little saving space mod that lets you take the lamp that's got to be in the center and just put it on the wall. Expanded Prosthetics and Organ Engineering. It just adds some more stuff for the transhumanists. It adds more items to the game, more prosthetics and organs and stuff like that. The Numbers mod is a really cool utility mod that will help keep track of what everyone's wearing, what skills they have. Any analytic in the game that you want to keep track of, you can with numbers. It's pretty cool. Smarter Deconstruction and Mining. I love this mod. It's a simple mod. It just stops the colony members from collapsing the roof on their head. It's the same for when they're mining. They will change the way they mine so that they don't kill themselves from mining or deconstructing. Quality Colors. This is a really good mod. It just changes the colors so that when you're scrolling through a bulk goods trader or a weapons supplier, you can quickly see the masterwork and the excellent and the legendary, and you can change these colors as well. This whole playthrough would not work without some of these mods, one of them being Prepare Carefully. This helps me set up the scenario uniquely to my setting. You can basically start with whatever you want and however many sims you want and with whatever skills you want them to have. And we're going to be using this to create a custom set of high-powered Magitek Defectors. Moonlight lets you control how dark or light each night is. I put this one in mainly to make it as bright as possible so that at nighttime when I'm recording it still looks slightly visible. Ogre Stack just increases the stack size of things, so if you wanted to build your colony into a smaller section of the map and you still wanted to hoard items, you can. The Allow tool is a nice utility tool mod that adds a few new things like the Call Urgently. It also adds a few more options when you right click things. The Medical tab is a very simple mod. It just adds a new GUI thing. It just gives you a little menu that shows you all of your colonists' health really quickly. The Pickup and Haul mod will let you haul more than one thing at a time. And finally, the Pharmacist lets you regulate what types of medicines you're going to use for certain types of ailments, so you don't don't use your Glitter World medicine on a bruise or something like that. And that's it. I've tried a bunch of mods, as you can see. These are the 27 that I've kept for this playthrough. Hopefully you enjoy them. Once you've got all your mods installed, it's probably a good idea to go into the options and click on mod settings and configure them to your liking. While most of them are defaulted and are plug and play, you may find that some of them operate better if you change some of their settings. To do that, you click on Show Settings, and then they have their own menus. I pretty much kept most things default. I haven't changed many of the settings in Rimworld of Magic, except for reducing the size of the class icon down to the smallest. So you can see at the top here, these little icons, they're just off to the side and they don't intrude too much. You can hide them and change this. There are other class options that you can turn off certain classes if you think they're too powerful. Faction options, you can make it so that certain factions have more mages or more fighters. It's up to you. I've kept them all default except for the icon size. For the camera plus settings, I've changed the scroll speed down quite a bit, 75% on the near and 11% on the far, and I feel like that's a lot better for me. Damage indicators, I've kept them unchecked. Medical tab, I've just turned off show all hostiles. I actually haven't messed with it. Minify everything. You can decide what cannot be minified if you want to. Mint menus, I don't believe I've changed any of this as well, but you can control your menus to look exactly like you want it to look. Moonlight, I have changed this to make it as bright as possible. 0.5 darkest nights and 1 on brightest nights. Numbers, I don't think I've changed anything. Ogre stack, I've set this all to just be 4x normals. You can specify every type of thing that you want, say exactly how much each item will stack to. I've made it simple and I've clicked on scalar 4x, so instead of 1 stack of wood being 75, it will be that times 4, meaning 1 stack of wood will stack to 300, so you can have 4 times the quantity of an item in one space. Quality colors is simple. You can change them to be whatever you want. I think I've gone through and changed these. This might be a preset. Of course, purple is legendary. SRTS expanded, I don't believe I've changed anything. Smarter deconstruction and mining, I haven't changed anything here. Snap out, I don't believe I've changed anything. I may have, but I'll show them. The wall light setting, I've beefed up quite a bit, so I don't have to have as many wall lights all over the place. Just 1 or 2 in a room works best for me. The allow tool doesn't have its own GUI, but it has a drop down of things you can change. I don't know if I've changed anything. For map reroll, I've left all the settings default. And that's it. So those are the mods. Hopefully you guys enjoy them. If you have any questions, please let me know. Come join us on the Discord, like the video if you did like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have a Patreon. You can follow us on Twitter, and hopefully we'll see you guys in episode 1. Thanks for watching.